Hello and welcome to Art&orchids. Today's video is another care collab video and it's all about Tolumnias or equitant oncidiums as they are sometimes called. So the Tolumnias. I've got 3 Tolumnias. That's one. Right next to my Brassivola and quite close to the Gamma LED grow light. Then I've got one here, a bit further from the grow lights, right next to my Encyclia cordicera, which is in spike. There you go. And the last Tolumnia I've got is over there. Lazy cats. Right next to the window. That one. So let's get them down and have a closer look at them. So these are my 3 up close and personal. As I said, it's another care collab video. There are lots of channels joining in again, which is great. And those channels are Plants and Other Things, ME's Orchids, Mattbynature, What's Up Orchids, Lynn Smith, Adyasha, if I don't butcher it, Adyasha, Orchid Diaries, Michelle's Live on Repeat, Cloudforest Vibes, Art&orchids, and last and certainly not least, Ninja Orchids. And of course us, Honeybees and Orchids. So that's a nice spread of channels, of growing environments, growing styles, and each has their own way. So check them all out. But let's have a look at the Tolumnias first. Tolumnias are once called equitant oncidiums, and they grow in the Caribbean, on the islands, and they are what we call twig epiphytes. They grow on low bushes, on branches, and they really grow into nothing. Best care guide you can give them, they like to grow on stuff and not in stuff. So they come from the Caribbean. The watering they get is almost sea breeze, moist sea breeze, which is great. But that causes for growing inside the home or in your environment, they need a fast, very fast wet dry cycle. That's the most important 2 steps. They grow on stuff, not inside stuff, and they need a very fast wet and dry cycle. Maybe you notice the moss I got on it and wondering, well, that will let it stay moist for too long. But in my living room where I grow here in the Netherlands, we haven't got that high a humidity, so I need some moss. There was more moss on this one, but I noticed in summer it stayed wet for 2 days, which is too long. So I took a bit of the moss out, and you can see it really lost it. So that's how I adapt my mount to my conditions and the way it wants to grow. I just took a bit of moss off, and immediately everything branched. So I might be getting some more moss off in summer, but it's drying out daily now in spring, so I think it's good. It's quite a big plant. This is my last one I got. So let's start with the first ones I got. These are both from Orchids Deluxe. This is my Tolumnia Firm White. There's a nice new growth coming. It was in bloom on a branch when I bought it. If I can find a picture, I will post a picture now. It grew this nice fan last year. It's still growing. There's a nice new growth. This one is really pushing on and it's doing roots. They're all doing roots. And look how beautiful those roots are. Except from the blooms and the growing style, it might be the best feature they got. Look at this branching root system. Very nice. So the next one is also from Orchid Deluxe. It's my Tolumnia Flyer Magic, which was this small, 2 fans, 3 fans when I got it. I immediately mounted it, and since then it's growing. If it will focus. Why won't you focus? Yeah, yo. It's been growing these 2 nice, very nice looking and fat fans, and oh, do not shake too much. It's growing another new growth. There it is, which is great. This one is close to my growing lights. I have them at three different spots to check how much light they need to get to blooming. If one gets too little light, I suppose it will be this one, because that's the farthest from the light. I grow in a home in the Netherlands, so in winter daily temperatures 21 degrees, 16 at night, Celsius that is, and in summer, well, it can get to 27, 28 degrees during the day. Well, this is my last acquisition, and it certainly will not be the very last, but this is my Tolumnia Peach from Art&orchids. It was in spike when I bought it. Cold draft dropped the buds and the blooms, so that's too bad, but at least we could get a picture of it. This fan, it was growing already, which is really nicely pushing on. It's growing roots, very nice looking root tips. There it is attaching to the mount. There's a nice big new growth here, which is very nice. That's what I often notice with Tolumnias in my place. Starting a new growth and just stopping then. And it will probably shoot out a new growth that will grow on. It's a thing they seem to do with me. This fan is maturing nicely too. This was the one that was in bloom. And that is a very nice specimen Tolumnia Peach. And cheap. For that size of plant, 10, 12 euros. That's good money. Well, that's a good deal, I should say. 10 euros it was, says the tag. So this one was in bloom on a branch when I got it, and it will be this season that it should bloom for me, I guess. Maybe it could have bloomed last season. So I'm a bit experimenting with them. This one seems to do very nice. They need good light to almost Cattleya light. Sometimes it depends on the hybrid, the species that are involved and which species you got. But they all can take quite high light. They'll get a nice purplish tinge to the leaves, to the edge of the leaves. I don't know if it's very visible, but let's try to zoom in. Oh, of course not. Ah well. So if you see a small purple tinge around the edges, that should be perfect. This one has that. And judging by the size of the fence it had when I got it and which it grew for me, I think this sure will bloom. That will be a first time bloomer for me. So that is my story about my Tolumnias. Go check the other channels, as will I. There are really different environments. Some channels I don't even know, so I really have to check that out. But What's Up Orchids is in Scotland, Lynn Smith is in England, Cloudforest Vibes is in the Americas, the Northern Americas, Ninja Orchids in the southern Spain. I think Michelle is in America too. Adyasha's Orchid Diaries, I have no clue. Art&orchids, I discovered his channel lately. It's not a Dutch grower. I think he grows in greenhouses, so that's way different. So go check their other channels. There will be links in the description below. And I hope I informed you enough on my Tolumnias. And I see you soon on another Honeybees and Orchids video. Have a nice day. Houdoe.